live.
We're live!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Ian and Kyle Play Versus System, or Ian and Kyle Mangle the English Language, as we are more popularly known.
More popularly.
Yes.
Yes.
By at least 4 people.
By at least 4.
We're a wholly owned subsidiary of FixTheChat.com.
Indeed. Indeed. Wholly owned.
So we got a lot to cover this week. Oh, I'm going to need a paper towel.
That's alright, I can get you there.
Okay, Kyle's going to grab me a paper towel.
I am.
So let's see. What can we talk about? Board games, video games, current events. That's our shtick. Real quick, I'll start talking about Diablo because it'll be real quick.
It'll be good.
I stopped playing Diablo.
Whoa.
It got super boring. As expected.
What did you end up reaching?
69 was my peak. I could probably get to 70, but yeah. I even tried to play a little bit today, and I just couldn't get into it. No, you haven't missed it, Chris. We just started, so your timing is flawless.
Yes.
Yes,
indeed. Quite flawless.
Yeah, the reason I was able to play today is my project is, I said this last week, I said I was done. It looks like that might actually be true this week.
Whoa.
We made a build Thursday morning that got approval to go into CERT. I don't know if we're in CERT yet, but we should be in CERT soon, if not. And once we're through CERT, we're done. I'm, of course, going on some vacation next week,
That's
so
gonna be great.
that's a good segue to mention that we're not going to be streaming next week.
True.
We'll be taking a Friday off.
I need to plug in my phone real quick, which I will do, and then return to the stream as though I were here all along. Pardon me.
Right. So, I've had a lot of downtime this week, and last week. Honestly, the way it's been going is, we thought we were done. I would come in the morning, and there'd be like maybe 2 new bugs, maybe 3, and we have a team of 5 engineers, so we would knock out the bugs pretty quickly. And then, well, you're throwing stuff all over the place.
That's true.
We knock out the bugs
slightly more. Turns out
I will not.
There we go. Less throwing of things.
We wrap up the bugs pretty quickly, and I spent most of the day idle, so I had a lot of downtime in the last probably week and a day or 2. And I used it. I used it to my advantage greatly. I used the idle time to do several things. You guys need to fix this.
Yeah, I wonder if the camera moved slightly that way, and then we rearranged the table.
Well, how's your room over there? Good, bad?
I probably have more than I normally have. I think.
Okay.
I think something.
And then everything's a mess, and we'll fix it before next stream.
Sure.
So I was saying I was able to use that downtime to do a bunch of things that are worth talking about on stream. The first is I sleeved the rest of, or no, it was already sleeved.
Mm-hmm.
I made and printed and applied the dividers for the rest of Legendary.
Nice.
The 4th wave of our Legendary dividers now, so that's all set up and convenient.
They come in waves.
They do come in waves. Yeah. So we'll probably be taking that for a spin tomorrow. Spent some time. I did go through all of the selectors and made sure that the number of selectors matched the number of things they were selecting. And that was not true for the heroes, but I was able to sort out where the missing selectors were, so we're all normalized again.
Where were they hiding in the box somewhere? Is it...
Yeah. In all cases, they were in the box. A couple of heroes had a full set of 14 cards in their slot rather than have one separated for the selector. And for some reason, Forge had a full set of 5 selectors in his slot. So that was an interesting discovery.
Why do you do this to us, Forge?
Yeah, seriously, Forge. What's the deal?
What a jerk.
The other thing I did this week is I tried to get caught up on uploading our videos to YouTube. I uploaded most of them. I have one more to go, which is last week's stream. So as of the end of this stream, we'll actually have 2 videos that still need to be uploaded. Good stuff in there. We had, I think some of our best streams were in the last few weeks. My particular favorite was number 35. So if you watch a single stream, that's the one I'm going to recommend for now.
Yeah, I actually was watching through it myself and was To be entirely blunt, I was kind of surprised at how entertaining it was. There were some good. That was the. There were some epic games, I would say, and
It was epic games and good commentary. I think we've fallen into a nice rhythm with the commentary.
yeah.
So that's working out. But that led me to discover this is our 40th stream.
Wow, the big 4-0. We're all grown up.
And we missed this milestone, but we've actually exceeded a full year by 2 months of streaming.
Wow,
So we've been at this a while.
man.
Usually, YouTube celebrities like us don't celebrate, time milestones. We celebrate numbers of videos. So, like, maybe we'll do something special when we get to 50, and then we get to 100, we'll delete our accounts.
That's how it's done. We wouldn't want to get too big.
No, totally. So that's where we are with that. What else did I do this week? I made some Ashes decks. No, that was last week. We did deck construction last week, and we got to play all of our Ashes decks on Sunday of last week.
We had a bit of a marathon, actually.
Yeah, we played 3 games. We played 3 games in 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Which means we're down to about 45 minutes a game, which is approximately the length of a Versus System game.
That's true.
So that's good, and I don't really see it getting a whole lot faster.
I feel like this was... So it'll be interesting to see if that happens. Obviously, they Chris and Casey have discussed playing games at 20 minutes a pop, but I think...
That still seems like a stretch to me.
It does. When we were initially playing, I think we all agreed we would kind of get it down, like you and I felt that we would get it down to an hour-ish, maybe a little less, and we're now sort of in that space. So the question is, will it continue to get better, or pardon me, faster, which isn't necessarily better. We're going to continue to get faster. But I think they were good games. I think the thing it was kind of interesting. We had a couple of pleasant surprises, which was none of our decks completely failed, which was kind of a surprise.
I would go a step further. So just for context, Kyle modded 2 decks, and I modded
3.
All right, let me choose my terminology very carefully. I constructed 3 new decks. 2 of my decks were mods to existing decks, as were the 2 decks that Kyle presented for this exchange, modded existing decks, and one of them was kind of a crazy new concept deck.
Right.
But what I was about to say is I would go one step further than saying that none of our decks failed, and my decks kind of performed exactly how I would expect them to, which was very pleasant.
Yeah.
And I think you felt the same. Is that right?
I think so. One of my decks has a strategic choice, I would say, which is less about card draw, because the nature of it is you pick your opening hand, of course, and more about kind of feeling out what's right based on what I'm against. And I won't go into details, but basically there's a potential slightly different approach that one of the decks has, but I didn't take that approach, and that's fine. That's part of the plan. So, I think so. I think that the 2 decks that I modded, and more or less delivered on my expectation, which was
likewise for
nice. So it was good. And we had some fun.
Yeah, I did have a bunch of stuff I wanted to say about Ash's deck construction. I probably have forgotten most of it. I'm still a little bit tired from the working so much. The one thing I thought was interesting was how important to your deck construction your first hand is. I think it's at least a third. It contributes to a third of your deck design, possibly even more than that. So that was a fascinating discovery.
Yeah.
And I exaggerated a little, but I told both Chris and Kyle that I was making flowcharts about how my first turn was going to go, and that was basically true.
Yeah.
Like I was playing through some scenarios. Is probably the proper way to say what I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adaptable by pairing. What do you mean by that, Casey?
Is that perhaps based upon the person you're playing against? Could be. But yeah, it was it was interesting. I mean, it was interesting. It is novel to note if I may be so bold as to mention it, I did actually sweep the game.
Oh yeah, Kyle started winning suddenly.
Yep, which is novel because I had lost every game except for one particularly poor game. It was just a combination of bad matchup, bad draw, all of the above.
And it didn't feel bad for me to finally lose, so
because
that's
those
good.
were pretty good
Yeah,
matches.
yeah.
And I'm actually glad that they were good matches.
That's a good observation, Casey. I have to ask. This is the one rule,
Right.
and we could look it up, but since you're here, you may as well tell us. How does that? That's the one rule I don't know. How does that selection process work? At what point do you get to choose your opening hand?
Right, like what is the information you get about your
what information
opponent?
is revealed at that point?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure the character, the Phoenix Born, is probably revealed, and then maybe just the magic types. Dice makeup.
Dice Phoenix Born, and then you pick your opening hand?
That's my guess. But yeah, I can definitely see that. Like, I think that's really some next level play, to be entirely frank. Like,
Right.
if we play each other enough, I'll know your deck and you'll know my deck. But there are enough cards, even within a particular dice type, that me knowing your dice type, if that is the extent of my knowledge, would not necessarily be enough to enough information for me to audible. I mean, maybe it is at a high level, but off the cuff, I'm like, I want my deck to do its thing, and I can adapt as I'm playing against your deck. To my
Sure.
to that point, there was the one deck that has two sort of routes it can go potentially, but
I did actually eyeball my remainder cards today to see if there's another deck there, and if there is, it's kind of a leftovers deck,
Right.
obviously. So
Right.
I might put it together, I might not. We'll see.
I did the same thing, and I saw one that I felt was worth the try.
Right.
So I have one more unplayed deck that does something novel in that I have taken a character and changed out both of their starter deck magic types.
So you think I'm amused because you act like that's significant, and I think that's basically like the pairing of the magic types and the hero is not. There is not a pairing really.
Well,
and with some
you
very
say
few
that
exceptions.
now.
There's literally only one hero who uses a die type
Sure.
in his ability. No, there's two. There's two heroes.
I suppose that's so. I guess I see it as the biggest deviation that I can offer at this point from the
Sure.
starter decks. And the makeup of the cards is probably 50% one deck and 40% another and 10% another. It's kind of like you said. It's a little leftoversy.
Yeah,
but
don't describe it. Just show it to me.
yeah.
We'll play it.
Yep, we'll see it in motion.
So you have made a new deck,
I do
and it's
have it.
prepared for.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's
maybe we'll
right.
play that tomorrow. We're going to be
Yeah.
together tomorrow with some unstructured time, so
Yep.
that might include playing Kyle's new deck.
Yeah, I hope so. This is a thing that I. The last thing I'll say about it is it's a thing that I saw that I wanted to make work early on, and I never really commented on this particular thing much. But I'm like, I want that to work, so we're gonna see if I can make it work. I guess we'll just sort of leave it at that. But I saw it very early on in my exposure to the game, and there's one thing that I've commented on that fits that bill, and it is not that thing. It's not illusions.
Sure.
There's another thing I'm like, I want that to be a deck. So we'll see. And
I
it
wonder
could
if it's the
fail
same one I
miserably.
want. That would be silly.
That would be kind of funny.
It would be silly because I explained it to you. So
Then
if,
it's
if
probably
you were thinking
not.
that you
It's-
remember that
it's
you
probably not.
had arrived at it on your own, it would be.
That would be interesting.
Unusual.
I do not recall you ever having mentioned this particular thing.
Right. Okay, so anything else to say about Ashes?
It seems like an all right list for sure. Yeah, I generally generally feeling good about Ashes. I think is the conclusion on the Ashes topic. I do not yet. I think a lot of the things that saw as potential pitfalls have not really.
Well, we're still early yet.
It's still early.
I'm not prepared to make the final judgment call, but
No, I agree.
we've already gotten quite a bit of use out of it.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
it's at least decent.
Yeah, I would say I retain optimism. Maybe is the way to word it. I felt pretty satisfied, and have enjoyed making some decks. I don't know when yet will be a reasonable time to look at the expansion content.
There are 3 promos.
3 promos. While we're talking a little bit, I'm just sort of glancing at my Versus System decks, because unlike sometimes, I have not pre-planned.
The big news, of course, is while I was reviewing our videos to upload to YouTube of Versus System, I got an inspiration to make a new deck, which I'm probably going to be premiering tonight.
That's exciting. I'm excited.
I stitched it together, but I'm short some cards, so it's about 80% of the deck I'd want at this point, I'd say. But if I don't draw terribly, that can probably make it work. So I think it's okay to show it tonight on stream. And I have ordered some additional cards to augment and put that together, hopefully for a better showing on next stream or subsequent streams. In the course of doing that, I've actually come up with 2 additional deck ideas. So I'm in the process of putting together bunches of decks. So that's fun. One of my deck ideas, which is a Ian special, and by that I mean it's a crazy off-the-wall, combine a whole bunch of disparate cards and affiliations to do something silly. Actually does not depend on, but would be augmented by a set of 10 cards that only appeared in a promotional set that I'm trying to track down.
So
I've only found 1 so far, so I have 1 of those 10. And again, I don't need those cards to make this deck work, and I'm going to assemble the deck without those cards, but the very best version of that deck will require a certain number of cards that will prove very difficult to acquire. 9 more.
We're going to call this Ian's Legendary Quest. I also want to point out that the whole description of your process here is somewhat marvelous to me and arcane, because I couldn't tell you what a single promo card is, and I don't even know how you know about them. Historically, to my knowledge, you haven't done a lot of like card lookup stuff.
Nope.
So the fact that you even know about promo cards, and furthermore know that they are, if not critical, the best scenario for your crazy deck, these are things that don't add up.
Yep.
So I am definitely intrigued.
For me. But I have been doing, I'll save this commentary for after we show the new deck. I felt like I wanted to say one more thing there, and it is escaping me at the moment.
You talk about how you do have one.
Oh, I recall. So last week you were very angry. I have not uploaded that video yet, but you basically, we arrived at maybe we don't play Ian's S decks anymore, simply because the majority of, and it's a very fair criticism, the majority of my S decks are constructed so that it's difficult to stop them from doing what they do, and subsequently probably not very fun to play against them.
And what they do is awful.
Yeah, and in that list I'm including 3 decks, one of which is the Outsiders, which is kind of, we established before, a beyond an S deck, and the other 2 are the Revenge Squad, who haven't seen play in a while, and the Future Friends, who did see play last week, and what made you arrive at that conclusion. And it may be that both of those decks are also sort of in the beyond S territory, and that's the problem. So that leaves me with 1 S deck that, if we bar the rest, would routinely see play, which was sad. We were sort of figuring out what to do about that, whether I should start playing Kyle's decks or whatnot. But I found a solution. I have arrived at a solution.
I'm intrigued.
Based on reviewing our videos. And the solution is, I had 2 decks that were being considered for promotion to S territory. So I simply could start playing those decks in S territory. And those decks were Team Superman and the Fatal 5, which is the future foes that recover your characters and whatnot. Now, the Fatal Five, have not succeeded in very, very, very long time. So I think I might put the kibosh on bumping them up to S.
Sure.
However, I think Superman can maybe give it a go up there.
Sure.
So we can add him to the list of my S decks to play against your S decks and see how that goes for a while. You had also suggested about 2-3 weeks ago, newly, this had not ever been suggested before, that we try to bump the Titans up there and see how they fare. So that'll give me at least 2 additional decks to try up there. And then we can keep going sort of the way we have been. Of course, my bag sort is destroyed by these decisions, but we're sort of in between. Like, we had completed a cycle of the double A's. The A's won't be affected by this, so I can re-roll the rest of them and maybe make some adjustments there.
Yeah, that's all well and good. And I think tonight what I've done is I have selected 2 of one tier and 1 of another tier. I'll take 1 week off from this. But then I think we can perhaps do as you propose.
Okay.
And
Sounds
maybe
reasonable.
still keep some of your crazier ones in there. I mean, outsiders are rough in a way that even the future foes is not. In fact,
well, I don't
future
like
friends
outsiders are so rough. I don't even enjoy playing.
Right,
and I say that every time they come out. Like,
right,
it
an
doesn't
acknowledged
feel
point.
good to have such power at my command.
They're so funny because it's like, well, every card I have in my hand counters your entire deck. I'm sorry. So maybe we keep your non-outsiders in rotation, add a few of the other ones up, and
Yeah,
we
no,
can
that's
proceed.
what okay, sure.
Because here's the thing, like,
I mean, well, the big dudes are staying no matter what.
right, when we look at right, the big dudes are staying.
So
no matter what.
if we had Titans and Superman, that's 3.
Yeah, Legionnaires is an interesting one. So Legionnaires, which is of course the one that is that the official name? Is it Legionnaires?
I call them the Future Friends.
The Future Friends. So the Future Friends are.
Although I'm thinking of maybe renaming them to Mon-El and the Future Friends.
That's more appropriate in some regards. I feel like when I get behind in a game against them, they provide they suffer the problem of, and we've analyzed this a little bit, if I can stick with them on the early turns, we can actually have some pretty good games in S tier against them. In fact, in episode 35, the opening game, which was
defeated them,
amazing,
yes.
but it was hard. It was really exhausting.
Well,
but it was a great
the
epic
important
game.
thing which was good for me too. It made it enjoyable for me to watch. Is I did not have the team up,
Right.
which made my deck very, very, very much less effective.
I didn't realize
But
it
I
until
didn't. You didn't pick up on
Right.
it until very, very, very late.
Well, and we do suffer. I should say, I suffer the problem that I think of all of my decks, I might only have a single team up deck, and because of that, it is difficult for me to see that you're missing your team up, because the mental model I have of the game is that your stuff is just teamed up.
Yeah. Well,
So I have to look for
you
that.
and our viewers kind of need to keep your eye on me, because sometimes
Sure.
I will just assume my stuff
Sure.
is team up, and that is not correct.
Yeah, it's funny. One of the decks that's not actually a team up deck, but my S tier X Force, I think the X Force deck, has a couple of cards that are like X-Men and Starjammers, and most of the set is X-Men and X-Force, like most of the deck, but there's just a handful of them that can are affiliated with other X-Men, but not with the X-Force, and I need to watch for that. And I, every now and then, I will catch myself before I make a mistake, but I am certain I have screwed that up at least a time or two. Because there's not enough of them that the team up is warranted, and there is some affiliation crossover between X-Men, even though the deck is predominantly X-Force.
Right.
That it's fiddly in a way that is not worth the team up, but also means that I probably miss a thing a time or two, and it's unfortunate.
Well, before we kick off, I wanted to
you
share
got
this
some more
because it
goodies.
arrived today.
What have you got there, Ian?
This is all the crap I got with my Mighty Number 9 Kickstarter. Like, Winter's
Ooh.
going to be bad on that. Let's see if I can tilt it
There you
the
go.
way. So that's the game box for Mighty Number 9. Terrible game, by the way. I wish it were better. The stuff
it
it came
really?
with is cool. Yeah, it's kind of bad. It's kind of
Wow.
I can't defend it. NES style cardboard box. Really solid production on that.
Nice.
Kind of disappointingly, NES inspired manual. The production values on this are really, really good. It's about 50% bigger than it should be, which makes it not feel like a good collector's product.
Right.
And I hear the Japanese manual doesn't even fit in the Japanese style box. And this is the thing I spent a lot of extra money for, which is a USB thumb drive shaped like an NES cart that comes with the game on it. So
that's the big spender material right there.
Well, it's like this was like 35 bucks or something extra.
So on a stream in which we are both people involved in the games industry, you've got to at least talk a little bit about how it didn't live up to expectations.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, I think that the problem is, I have tremendous respect for Keiji Inafune, who's the creator, or the, what do you call it?
Creative director.
Japanese companies sort of have this, and it's terribly phony. It's not at all real. But they have this sort of like auteur presentation for a game. They usually have like, okay, this is the game by this guy, even though it's a game by a huge team of people.
Right.
Sometimes, often directed by these people. But Keiji Inafune is that guy for Mega Man. And I love Mega Man, the original series, and I like X a lot. I like Mega Man Legends a ton, and he was involved in all of those.
Yeah.
And of course, he parted ways with Capcom most likely because he wanted to do more of these types of projects, and they just weren't funding them at the time because they don't sell particularly great. So he did the Kickstarter for Mighty Number 9, and it was promised to be a spiritual successor to Mega Man.
And it looked like that at a glance.
At a glance, probably. So, one of the problems with the auteur at a big company like Capcom is they tend to grow, like, they're not pushed back on a lot.
Right.
So they tend to grow into the type of person who can't manage finances of a product very well. And this is pure speculation, right? I don't know what happened on Mighty Number 9, but this is my impression as an outsider with some industry experience.
Totally.
So I think that Keiji Inafune is not very good at, managing a budget, managing a product, scope management, that sort of thing. And the end product was just a little unpolished. I mean, it was a little ugly in some areas. It just didn't really come together. And it was $5 million or something, like some ridiculous amount of money. 3.5, who knows?
Yeah.
But it was, they went through it and they didn't get it done. So, it is what it is.
I guess the fact they shipped something still puts them a notch.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was very. We felt, the backers of that product, suspected for a very long time that none of the physical rewards were going to manifest. And I think they just got purchased. The company he created for this got purchased or partnered with or something. Oh gosh, I'm going to forget who it was. Somebody bought them basically. But they actually fulfilled the physical rewards, and they have been arriving in the last few months. So good for them for that. But yeah.
So would you say, being a designer at the table, I'm curious, was it just a lack of polish, or was it actually mechanically? Because Mega Man is a very specific feel.
Well, yeah, I mean, they took some steps away from Mega Man, which was probably a good idea on paper, right, to sort of differentiate the game. But, there were just... I mean, if you Google videos about what went wrong, there are excellent design breakdowns, and I can even share some with you so that you can brush up on them and then maybe comment on them in the stream in the future. But there's just a lot of little, like, here's a mechanic that's never taught and critical for one part of the game and stuff like that. Like, here's a mechanic that I didn't like. There are multiple mechanics in the game that I, having put maybe about 4 hours into the game, was never aware of.
Right.
And stuff like that.
Interesting. Yeah. Now, have you finished the game at this point?
I haven't. It was not good. Like, it didn't grab me.
That's quite sad.
Yeah.
Still, high production value Nintendo book and USB drive. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I like physical goodies, so, you know, I'm a little happy with them.
May I look at the box again real quick?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this, I think the box is the worst part. The retail box was better looking than that, I think. Of course, when we kickstarted, there wasn't going to be a retail release, and then there was a retail release, and then everybody was furious because the retail release was getting their rewards before any of the backers were, and it was just a big kerfuffle. There's a lot of bad blood about Mighty Number 9.
I know, it's a shame. Shame for something that had so much promise and hype, for sure.
Yep.
But,
so,
cool goodies all the same.
I'm going to propose that my new deck, we can open with my new deck.
Okay.
I'm going to propose, I'm going to be bold like you are.
Oh my, I was bold.
I'm going to say, I think it's going to be, in its carnation right now, a AA. The reason I say that is it's hopefully got its own identity, but it has some overlap with a deck that's a AA, and it has some overlap with a deck that's an S. So I'm hoping that means it'll land, you know, in its incomplete form in AA. If I get lucky, maybe it'll bump up to S, and that'll further solve our S problems.
It would.
But AA is where I'm prepared to start.
Well, there you go. I mean, I was bullish with Olmec Army, and certainly you
I think we have a good, you know, much better sense for it than we did
Sure.
back when we were rapidly introducing bunches of new decks.
Not only would I agree, I would hope.
I mean, I think it shows in our Ashes deck construction that we both kind of hit it out of the park. Not hit it out of the park, but you know,
well,
succeeded on our first
expected
try.
outcomes. I mean, I'm sure we'll eventually get to the point where we're building better decks there as well. But
I may not have. Yeah, I did not. So, pardon me. It's going to take some extra shuffling. I did not actually do any shuffling.
Okay, yeah, that's no worries. I'm still nibbling away at a delicious pork koja, which comes with a wonton chip, magical sauce, some.
Describing your food.
Yeah, that's right. Some,
I shouldn't.
Fish eggs.
It's kind of funny.
Moscow. Between two rice cakes. Done.
It was painfully aware, if only from our thumbnails, how much you eat on stream. How much of the stream is about what you eat.
It's by design. I mean, here's the thing. Like, if I'm eating, which is likely, because I'm a slow eater, and B, someone who's hungry a lot, it makes a lot more sense to display the food on the stream rather than just having there be off-camera chewing sounds. Not that I am a deafening chewer, but the microphone will pick up some amount of that. So if it's visually linked to my sustenance, it also animates the stage a little bit before we actually are playing the cards. Keeps a little bit moving.
I'm going to manage your expectations a little bit.
Uh-oh.
I think. We'll see. If this goes right, I'm going to start playing, and you're going to say, "Oh, it's this deck," and then it's going to take a turn, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. I think.
Intriguing.
So when you feel, "Oh, it's this deck," don't be alarmed.
I accept. There is something potentially a little bit novel about a deck that starts like another deck. It's better than ending like another deck. It could also lead to misdirection later on in the stream. Yeah, kick us off. Pick a.
I'm going to pick the internet.
Totally
Yeah, I almost did it. I have lost. It looks like.
Good. 2-1.
It's good because I'm not quite sure what they should go yet.
I'm going to go even.
I'm going to keep this. This might work okay. I've got some important pieces. It's tempting to do funny stuff right out of the gate.
I'm gonna get rid of that hand. That's is that right? Boy, there's some cards I really want. Keep it. Oh, that's bad. I'm gonna keep it. Make sure it's the same four. Come on, 2 cards. Be great. Okay.
So, Chris, you still playing Wildstar? I got your attention. I'm showing off a new deck, in case you are curious.
went evens.
Did you?
I did.
I will not be recruiting a 1-drop.
I am going to recruit to my visible area Madame Xanadu,
Oh, goodness.
who has Activate. If Madame Xanadu is in play, search your deck for a magic plot twist, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck.
Boy, how is this going to go down? That's
Then
interesting.
put her on top of your deck.
Very well.
And since you have recruited nobody, if you should pass, I will hit you for 1.
I will take it.
I have the lead.
You have the power. No, you're not doing it right. Now we're having the issue. The issue.
Indeed.
Okay, how do I want to do this?
Boy, would I like to gamble? Probably not. It's probably not. That makes me sad. I do have initiative. Cool. I am going to recruit another 1-drop, Nightshade, into my concealed area. She has pay 3 endurance. She gets 1 attack. I can do that as much as I want.
Interesting. This is going to be an interesting matchup.
I'm intrigued.
I believe
Right now, I don't know what your deck is going to
the
imposter.
correct play is to recruit the Emerald Empress.
Interesting.
Whenever the Emerald Empress stuns a character an opponent controls, recover that character. This power triggers only once per turn. And she has boost power. I'm not paying it this time.
Actually, kind of annoying. She's gigantic.
She is gigantic. You just pay 3 life and get her.
I would actually have to pay 6 life to get her.
It's 2 life per one.
Yeah, 3 endurance for 1 attack.
And actually, Chris is making the reaction that I said you would make. It's going the other way. It's going the other way that I thought it would.
I might have a very minor but silly misplay last turn, so I should have put a counter on the Oblivion bar last
Oh, please
turn.
do. Please do.
So we'll say that I did that last turn as I should have, and also do it this turn. To be clear, I should read the Oblivion bar. Pay 3 endurance, put a power counter on Oblivion bar. I can also activate it to remove a counter from the Oblivion bar to gain 5 life. So 2 counters on that. Also, I'm going to adjust my tens column, because that's how subtraction works. So there's sort of 2 outcomes here. If I team attack Emerald Empress, I can pay 6 life and maybe get the stun. Right now, not an appealing notion. Because if I fail, you'll attack me through. And that will hurt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to pass.
We can play more life, right?
I could. At a point of 3 life for every 1 attack.
Alright, I'll attack Madame Xanadu for 4.
I'll activate her and search for a card. And then pass.
And then I will attack you for 4.
No, I will take 4. I don't know why I'm putting her into my deck first. So I'm going to look for a card. To be clear, I am search for a magic plot twist and put it into my hand. And I will search for probably that one. Card is useful. Tempting, but no. Okay. We will search for Obturation, which is a magic plot twist, and it will go into my hand. I'm going to shuffle my deck, and then Madame Xanadu will go on top of my deck. All mysterious-like.
I did not draw the right cards to make this a surprise, and I'm kind of disappointed. What I'm up to is going to be very obvious, probably before it comes into effect.
We'll see. I'm pretty sleepy. You've got that going for you. You might not figure it out.
You will.
Cool.
You'll be horrified.
Oh boy.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm surprised that my draw is a little odd.
Alright, so that happened, and then I got attacked for 4. Ow. Ow. And then I will pass again, and you will pass, and we'll draw some cards.
Yeah.
One of those cards
I
will
already
be...
did all of that.
You're way ahead of
I'm
me.
like, I'm at the beginning of next turn
It's
already.
Madame Xanadu.
So I have initiative.
Yes.
That also makes me sad.
Yes.
I will be recruiting Michael Holt, Mr. Terrific. Michael Holt is concealed optional, and his power is exhausted JSA characters I control get +2/+2 while in combat with a character with greater cost.
I don't like where this is going. I don't like where this is going at all. Huh. Clever. Well, I do have 3 cost Satana. She has, whenever you play a magic plot twist, I may also pay 3 endurance, and if I do, draw a card. Yep, I am informed.
I'm going to play Forbidden Loyalties. As an additional cost to play Forbidden Loyalties, choose 2 different team affiliations among characters you control. I will choose JSA and Future Foes. You may discard a card. I'm thinking about that. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on target character you control. Sure.
Oh my. This is horrifying.
I'm going to attack Satana.
Whoa.
I am a 7/7.
Ha. You are the size of a 4-drop. Okay. I'm going to flip Abjuration. It's an additional cost to play Abjuration. Pay 5 endurance. Target Shadowpact Defender you get gets +3 defense this attack. Ongoing at the start of the build phase, gain 5 endurance if you have 10 or less endurance. Also, I will pay 3 endurance to draw a card.
Okay, just a moment. Just a moment. We got this.
To be clear, nothing occurs right now. Bounce. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Right. I see what you did there. It's clever. Do you have a power up?
I'm out.
Cool. Character is really large. Put a counter on Oblivion Bar. That cost me some life. Pass.
I think I'll also pass.
Okay. What is
Do
going
you
on?
like what I've done?
That remains to be seen. You've done like JSA to the extreme.
It could be S. I suspect
could
it
be.
will wind up in S, especially when I fix it up.
It might. That's pretty scary. So I am going to play Divination. It's an initial cost to play it. Discard a Shadowpact character card, which I will. And pay 3 Endurance, which I will. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put 1 into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your deck. I'll also pay 3 Endurance to draw a card. I do not have anyone.
Oh no! Oh no! That is super bad.
That's real bad. That's real bad.
I have Computo. Kate Spencer, Manhunter. Let's see, how do I need to do this? That might be the only way I can do it.
I'm gonna be dead on 5, I think. Not making 4 is.
Computo's
really
power is activate. Target opponent recovers a stun the character controls if you control another future foe's character. If I do. That player loses endurance equal to the cost of that character. Use this power only once a turn. Kate Spencer Manhunter's power is characters I control get +1 attack while attacking a character with greater cost. I do have to put her back here. She has also free target hidden character and opponent controls can be attacked by characters you control with lesser cost this turn. Uses power only once per turn.
Joke's on you.
Yeah, I can't use that.
Cool. I did this turn. Pass.
You're gonna pass?
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
man.
ruined.
Oh man. Yep, well I'm just gonna attack you with Emerald Empress.
I will take 6. I am at 17. I will pass.
I'll attack you with Mr. Terrific.
I am at 13. I will pass.
I will recover your character. Oh, your character's already recovered.
That's
sorry, don't
true.
attack.
That is true. Alright, so I'm at 17 still. I guess I've got that going for me.
But did you get the ping as well for Computo?
No. So, it's 14. I will put a counter in Oblivion Bar. Alright, Shadowpact. Oh, you ass.
No good?
It's pretty bad. We'll see. Shadowpact's pretty crazy. They stay alive, so we'll see. We'll see. It's your initiative. That was my turn.
I'm going to boost Mono.
Oh, interesting.
Whenever Mono stuns a character an opponent controls, recover that character. This power triggers only once a turn. Boost 1. When Mono comes into play, whenever a character an opponent controls recovers during the combat phase this turn, it cannot ready this turn.
Oh, that's potent. That is potent. Interesting.
Oh, did you get the +1 attack for Kate Spencer?
I did not.
Yeah, she was +1 for that attack. V.
It's actually it's very important that that's the case because that triggers abjuration.
There you go.
Yay! At the start of the build phase, I gain 5 endurance.
I mean, no, she
if
totally
I have 10 or less.
her.
It's a funny interaction. I was trying to get to exactly that point. I don't know if that will be a difference maker or not.
Yeah, a lot of attack on the table, especially if you recruit a 5-drop.
Yup, that sure is true. That sure is true. So what I'm gonna do, you see, is I'm going to recruit Nightshade. The Nightshade says at the start of first of all, she's concealed optional. I think I need the visible defense, so I will make her visible. She says at the start of your attack step, if you have 25 or less endurance, you may have the controller of target unprotected character move it to his hidden area. So that's cool. I am also going to play Collecting Souls, which is 2 properties. I'm going to read them both before telling you what the first one is going to affect. Target Shadowpact character gets +1/+1 this turn, and I lose 1 endurance. I will do that. Ongoing, pay 1 resource point, which I have. Remove a character in a KO'd pile from the game. I can actually target your stuff, I forget that. If I do, put a 1/1 counter on a character you control. Use this power only once per turn. You don't want to get rid of your stuff. It's unlikely you've got a means to get it back home. I'll get rid of that representative. So I get a counter, and something else has +1/+1 for the turn. How the hell do I do this? If I do them... Going to do both on Nightshade. So for the turn, she's +2/+2. Pardon me, +1/+1 in addition to the counter. Don't yet know the manner in which I'm going to use Oblivion.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
What person is going to attack her? I will play Brother in Arms.
Oh no.
As an additional cost to play Brother in Arms, exhaust a non-attacking, non-defending JSA character you control. Target attacker or defender you control gets +X attack, where X is the attack of the character you exhausted.
That's such a good card. So your attack is 11.
Yes. Yep.
That's a big attack. Well, I am going to play... the Conclave, which I can only play if I control a Shadowpact character, which costs me 4 endurance. As an additional cost, play it, pay 4 endurance. Negate target effect from a non-ongoing plot twist. I'll negate that, and then I will play another Objuration for +3 defense. Which does cost an additional 5.
You will stun me. Well done, sir.
Trying.
Don't think there's anything I can do about that. Making you eat your resources to do
Boy,
it.
that's the truth. That is the truth. So now what do? Do I try going for damage, or do I remove your attack? I mean, I'm at 5 life. On the plus side, by not recruiting a 5-drop, I can go after mono and not have you have massively inflated stats.
Just 8/8.
Just 8/8. Right on. Right on. Those hidden characters could actually attack. You can't afford to lose Mr. Terrific, though. That would be a pretty big blow if you risked him. Probably.
Could if I win this turn.
That's true. You have to deal me, as of right now, you would have to deal me 9 more damage. It sure isn't off the table. Guess I've got 5 banked there. think I have to do it with... Nightshade and Satana. Is that right? It's only a meager 5.
I forgot her attack again. My attack was 12. You still beat it by 1.
That is good to remember. Did still beat it. We're gonna... What? Read me her power again.
She
While
just gives
attacking
plus
up.
1 attack for characters attacking up the chain, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is a thing we should endeavor to remember. So yeah, I'm going to team attack mono, and I'm going to play... I have to pay endurance to do that. Pay endurance and you team attack, and to get me, do I just lose? Does my whole foil not even matter? That would be really sad. How can I make this work? You deal 3, -1. Oh, and you can just team attack. That's sickening. So what is the play? Do I do nothing? It's so pathetic. No, it's not nothing, is the answer. It's so bad, though. I think I have to attack your 2-drop with Nightshade.
It's a pretty safe attack.
Yep, I'm a 10-8. I don't... the problem is it leaves mono. So you... Oh, you... I do that, and then I will also have to play... 4/4. He gives +2 to anyone or other characters.
JSA characters who are exhausted.
Would include himself. What are the odds of you having more attack buffs? One other thing I can do, and I gotta think for a second. If I do that, I don't see flight at the moment. That's imperfect. I can't believe how threatened I am by a bunch of nobodies. I also have to play Mystical Binding for 3, which gives a character -3 defense this turn, and it cannot attack this turn, and I must choose mono.
Okay. And but the attack,
remains the same.
That's probably correct. I think that gets you to next turn.
For all the good it'll do me. I guess I'll have
So your attack is 10, right?
That is correct. I am a 10.
My defense is only 4, so I would be taking 8 from that.
Almost got you to 40. Is that right? Have you been gaining life from something?
No, you haven't attacked for 3 turns.
You do have a stunned character that's a 2 cost, and I just dealt you 9 damage.
I may not have taken the damage for the 2 cost.
That is possible. I accept. It is to you.
So mono can't attack. I could get your 4-drop with Computo and Mr. Terrific, but because I can't use Computo's power, it doesn't avail me much.
Yeah.
I think I just gotta pass. I don't think you can press.
Shit, I didn't even use her power. I forgot. It's a you may. Yeah, so it's skipped. I probably should have used that.
So I will dump Kate Spencer, even though she's pretty useful.
So I do have to decide if I want to do anything with Oblivion, but I think the answer is no. Actually.
Wow. That's bold.
Well, because these are gonna. This is weird, right? Like, if I consume the the counter to get 5 life, only one of these 2 will fire. So I think I don't add a counter or remove a counter, which is very atypical. This This draw is really strange. I do not understand what is going on right now. I just don't understand. Don't understand. Don't get it. Will that work? Probably not. Alright, so one of these both fire. First one resolves and I am at 7. The next one resolves and I am at 12. Hey. So that's a thing that happens. That's a thing that happens. Why are you worded the way you're worded? That would have been cool. I have one hope to make this interesting. That's stupid. I'm going to recruit a 1-drop, Madame Xanadu, who I'm going to immediately activate to search for a plot twist card. Put her on top of my deck. Then, she is on top of my deck. I will then play, from my hand, Divination to look at the top 3 cards of my deck.
Uh-oh. Wow, did you not get a 6-drop or a 5-drop or anything?
That's game.
Oh.
I have nothing to recruit.
Wow, that's impressive.
Well, that's real bad. I'm sorry, that's a terrible... Your deck is cool, my deck is not cool. I don't know what deck this is.
My draw was not spectacular either. But, yeah. Did you get the gist? Is it terrifying?
No, it's really cool. I have no idea if it's terrifying. It's
probably
scary.
terrifying.
Yep, I drew another 4-drop, and I had my 7 and my 8 in my hand. And I never drew,
I don't know.
No, that's fine.
There you go.
Keep
now it's
cutting it.
cut.
Other cards in there? No. Where's the... No. Come on. There we go. There's a high-cost character. And by high cost, I mean 5 or higher. This is really awful. I think that is the worst game Shadowpact has ever played. I almost can't imagine ours when I recruited a 1-drop, a 1-drop,
It was bad.
a 3-drop, and a 4-drop. And that was it.
I don't feel satisfied.
You can give him another spin if you want.
I don't
I'm
know.
done with Shadowpact
That might
today.
be dull for our streamers.
Sure.
And viewers.
But that's the first time in ages Shadowpact has just hard failed. I can't remember a time they have provided a bad viewing experience. That was really terrible. I guess I did some stuff to try and stay in it, in the hopes that I would draw characters.
I'll tell you what, it was quick, so let's play our other 2 games, and if there's time,
Sure.
we'll revisit.
That's fine. I was all excited to play Shadowpact because I haven't seen play in a while. It was so bad. Really bad.
I think these guys are going to be yes.
They might be. I felt like I would have been in it if I had gotten a 5-drop or a 6-drop. Now, maybe you had more things, but like I was doing tricksy things and foiling your attacks and...
Well, the fact that you played a 4-drop instead of a 5-drop worked against me.
That's true, because it prevented mono from attacking us. That's true. That's true. So, yeah, I didn't even get the 3-drop I wanted. I didn't get my Rose Psychic, which is who you want. You want Rose Psychic.
If you want to.
Yeah. Man, a bad game from Shadowpact. We are in Bizarro World. That's like Kang having a bad game. I feel like feel like Shadowpact and Kang are my two most reliable decks for like good games. All right, well, I guess it's proof that even Shadowpact is human. This one is. But that is a really cool deck. Like, I have no idea. I think you're right. It's confidently double A, at least.
The secret is the pairing I wanted to make. I'll tell you some of the theory behind the deck. The pairing I wanted to make is the Fatal Five have the recovery power, which is disgusting.
Right.
It's a detriment I have to work around. They all have boosts.
Yeah, they've all got boosts and giant
so
stats.
I can confidently play them behind curve, and they're only about 1/1 below curve.
Right.
So if I boost them just a little bit, they're on curve or above curve.
Right, and then they get the benefit from all the properties.
Boosts. So they're playing the characters like plot twists in addition to the plot twists they play.
And again, their stats are really, really solid, and it's good. No, it's a clever idea. I'll be interested to see. You know, like I said, I think they're pretty confidently double A. I think it's very, very likely. But it's definitely hard to gauge whether or not they are S based upon a match where the deck they played didn't play back much.
Sure.
I'm sorry I did not provide. I think actually the OMAC robots had a similar issue. You had they didn't suffer from first deck syndrome, but you had a bad draw or bad experience with them the first time they played.
It wasn't that bad. It was a little bad. I missed a big drop, but only the one.
Sure, that's fair. Very strange. Very, very strange draw.
I worry that it made them seem a lot more like. I think they're going to be, if they're in double A, on the bottom tier, end of double A. But we'll see.
OMAC?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. Did they win their...
they won their premier game.
Did they lose the next one?
They lost the next one by a lot.
It's true. Though, they I think I remember commenting on it that I never felt like I was out of it. Maybe not.
You did say that.
Right. So it's like... Because they're a very weird deck. I look forward to playing them more. I did not put them in this rotation tonight because I've seen some play lately, but definitely excited to play them more. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Clank.
I should pick something.
Yeah, you should name it.
I'm gonna go the inner die, which is
not successful.
Not successful again. Man, I'm just tanking all the rolls here.
Didn't hurt you last time. I will go. Get us some water.
Sounds good.
It's a good choice, I think. What?
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible cards right there. And it's cards I need and I will never see. Maybe that means I should have kept them. I don't even know.
I think I am going to go evens with this deck. Is that true? Actually, they might be able to go either way. It's been a while since I've played them. Let's go. Let's go odds just to mix it up. We'll go odds. I will ditch that hand. That is a ditch.
Son of a ditch.
Yeah, my opening hand for Shadowpact was 1-drop, 7-drop, and Oblivion Bar, and a useful plot twist. So I'm like, okay, I'll keep it. I've got turn 1. I've got Oblivion Bar. These are important pieces. And then it went down.
Did you say you went evens?
I did go odds, actually. I do not have a 1-drop.
I got Ratcatcher. I know you love him.
Oh, everybody loves Ratcatcher.
Whenever a character becomes stunned, each of my opponents loses 1 endurance. Ratcatcher will hit you for 1.
He will. Man, he's already doing annoying stuff, hitting me for 1.
Oi, Kyle. This is gonna go south.
Yeah. I'm going to recruit... no. Nope.
My initiative?
Your initiative.
Guess I'll recruit Harley Quinn.
Sure.
I can discard her for something. I may also activate her and target Arkham Inmates Defender I control as reinforcement of this attack.
Gotcha. I do have Blade. In order to recruit Blade, I must reveal a Marvel Knight's character card from my hand. He gets +1/+1 while equipped. He won't be equipped, however. That will show.
Sure.
I am not permanently sure, but he won't be equipped right now.
Okay. Pass.
I'll take Ratcatcher.
Reinforcement. Each take one.
Still feels good to hit him.
Boy, that's weird.
Yeah. So now it's my initiative. I'm going to do this in a way I did not anticipate doing. I'm going to recruit Black Panther. Black Panther has concealed optional. I will make him visible. He says, when he comes into play, search your deck for an equipment card with a cost of 1 or less. Equip it to Black Panther and shuffle your deck. There's equipment in here. Is the War Wagon. The War Wagon says, activate the equipped character. KO target character and its controller loses endurance equal to its cost. And I am formed.
Okay. You're putting it on him.
I must.
So you're going to
I must equip it
attack
to
with
him.
Blade, activate to KO Ratcatcher because you hate him.
Mm-hmm.
That's reasonable.
My plan so far.
Yep, I get it. I shall recruit Brainiac 4.
4.
Vengeance, whenever Brainiac 4
Oh,
becomes
no.
stunned by a character with lesser cost, that character's controller discards a card.
That's funny. That's funny. Sure. Well, Blade's gonna attack Ratcatcher.
Reinforce Ratcatcher.
Sure.
We'll each take one.
We will.
I will not reinforce Ratcatcher. That's
Mm.
dumb. I will take 3.
That's fair, because Harley Quinn can reinforce herself.
Yes.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I will attack Blade
Sure.
for 6.
As a reminder, I could now KO your hidden character.
Sure.
I'll take a lot of damage, actually. So you do deal breakthrough, so I'll take 6, and then I will have to discard a card. So you like to make people discard cards, do you?
Yes, very much.
I'm going to flip up Hell's Kitchen. Flip Hell's Kitchen only if you control a Marvel Knight's character. Whenever a character an opponent controls is put into a KO'd pile during the combat phase, that opponent discards a card. I will ping your 3-drop, or attempt to KO your 3-drop.
Discard this.
And then I'm going to flip up a card called Quick Kill. As an additional cost to play it, discard a Marvel Knight's character card from your hand. Give target stunned character of cost 1 or less. Pardon me, 4 or less. You do not take ping damage for that. Excellent.
I was pinged for something else?
You were pinged for War Wagon, for
Oh.
cost of character.
Pardon me.
Yeah,
I
no
didn't
worries.
take it.
No worries. It is to you.
That's it.
Okay. Nope.
That was costly. But you don't have any cards left. so-
That's true. I feel like I should have another resource.
Probably.
I'll do that before I draw, of course. About that. It is your initiative. That was my initiative.
He's not +1/+1/1.
He is not. He's just 4/4. He just happens to have a cool KO equipment.
I will recruit Maxi Zeus.
Maxi Zeus.
Whenever an Arkham Inmate's character I control causes breakthrough to a player, that player discards a card from his hand. That is his cosmic power.
It's cosmic. Well, that's cool and all. I have Yelena Belova, the Black Widow. She has concealed.
Yelena Belova.
Also, I love this power. Yelena Belova cannot team attack. Whenever she stuns an exhausted defender, KO it.
I'll attack Black Panther.
Sure wish I had cards in my hand. That'll work. I am going to take 2 breakthrough and therefore have to discard a card, which makes me sad. And I take some damage. I take 5 damage from that. I shall pass.
I shall also pass. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
It's fine. It's all part of the plan. Did you have initiative last time?
Should I not have?
No, you did. I am sleepy. I should have formed like that, and I don't know why I didn't. Because I should have just reinforced, because I knew what your opening attack was going to be.
True.
Bad strats.
Yeah, I thought you were going to... Yeah, I'm
Nope. It was just me being tired. I need to think about if I form that way now. I probably still form this way, actually. So I'll recruit Daredevil, who has loyalty. Pay 3 endurance. Daredevil gets +2 attack and can attack as though he had flight this turn. Also, he moves to my hidden area. I can only use this power once per turn. Got 2 whole cards. Get him 2 cards.
I recruit Computo. Computo's power is whenever Computo causes breakthrough to a player, that player discards a card and you draw a card.
Oh, and you draw. That sucks. Sure do sucks. Boy, that sure do sucks. I gotta attack Computer. And I don't like it.
Target future foe's attacker or defender gets +1 defense this attack, and an additional +2 defense unless an opponent discards a card.
Oh, God. I'll discard Electra.
You still don't have the stun then.
And then I will move hidden and get +2 attack. Then I have to pay 3 endurance. +2 attack, pardon. So I'm 1 over. Oh no! That's real bad. Sure wish I hadn't fucked up last turn. Could be game costing.
So your attack was
I'm still stunned.
Oh, cool. Your attack was 12.
Yeah, 11.
11.
Which ties your defense.
My defense is 11, so I take 5.
I'll also take 5.
Black Panther.
I guess I'll reinforce just to save life. I will, of course, KO Computo. Which does ping you for 5. 3, and you must discard 1 card. terrible. I can't risk it. I was really, really, really lucky. It is your initiative.
Yep. I'm going to recruit Catwoman to my visible area. Catwoman's power is whenever Catwoman stuns a defender, choose one, draw a card, or target player discards a card.
Right on. I'll recruit Spider-Man. Spider-Man has loyalty. His activate, target opponent exhausts all characters he controls. Uses power only during my attack step. Sure wish my hand were less non-existent. I did top deck him, and by the way, had already discarded 2 6-drops, so that was a small miracle. You're not Shadowpact. You know how to get cards into my hand.
I think I still attack Black Panther.
Sure. That's a pretty rational course. She triggers her power whenever she stuns someone, or
Yes.
breaks her. Still should stop the breakthrough. It's the right choice. Would you like me to discard?
You have no cards in hand, right?
That's true. Just
I would like
offering.
I would like to draw.
Okay. Okay. I will attack Maxi Zeus. And I will do it for 12.
Yep. I will take 10.
Very clever. I will attack. Do you pass?
Mm-hmm.
I will attack with Yelena Belova. As a reminder, if she stuns an exhausted defender, they are KO'd. I will attack for 6.
Reinforcer. Reinforce Harley Quinn.
You will have to discard 1 card. Just making sure. Still have Daredevil.
I still have Catwoman.
That is the problem. I think the right play is to pass. So I will pass. Also, did you put down a resource this turn?
Probably not.
You didn't have to because you recruited Catwoman. Is that how you want to have done it, though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure. I don't recall if that's on curved deck or not.
Damn it.
Yeah, I do feel that a little bit. Yeah, I gotta do it that way. I will put down a resource. I will not recruit anyone.
Oh man, that would have been my game. That's so funny. What can you do? I got this as a surprise. Which means I must do some of those shenanigans. The shenanigans I must do are that.
It's kind of a very weird game.
They are that. That's weird. That? I'm going to recruit Lorith.
Lorith, my word.
Glorious power is cosmic free, gain 4 endurance. Unless an opponent discards a card, uses power only once per turn and only during the combat phase.
Right.
You have a lot of attack on the table, I suppose. This is this one.
Arkham 4.
Yep.
So I must read a card.
Can I have 4 endurance?
Yes. Yes, you may. I do have one card in my hand, but now is not the time to use it. I get to do a cool combo here, I think. I don't normally get to do it this way. I'm going to attack Glorith for 12.
I'm going to play the hookup. To play, choose 2 different affiliations among characters you control. I will choose Arkham Inmates and Future Foes. Ongoing crossover the chosen affiliations, I may discard Gotham Knights character cards to draw a card once per turn.
Reinforce, of course.
Of course.
I am also going to play Swan Dive. Play only during your attack step. It's an additional cost to play it. Stun a Marvel Knights character you control.
Uh-oh.
Stun any number of target characters your opponents control. If their combined cost is less than that of the character you stun, they will stun Catwoman.
Uh-oh.
I do take 6 from that. I will then... did you take your damage for a stun Catwoman?
Nope.
I will then attempt to KO Catwoman.
I can recover her unless you discard a card.
I have to try. It's my only card.
That's going to work. And I have to discard this. That sucks. Am I paying for that one?
You are for this one. The War Wagon is the one which bangs. I may have enough to get you, but I'm not sure what else you have. But I've got 2
Yeah,
attackers.
that's pretty solid. Yeah, that looks like you got me.
I must, of course, attempt to do it with Daredevil. You have no tricks, and I get you with Daredevil. Probably in the good.
Alrighty, that's it. Man, I wish I could draw well with this deck.
That was a very strange game. I actually had played everything I drew and had like equipment and characters in my resource row.
You got a lucky top deck in there too.
But I got, well, it was huge. Which, to be fair, made up for my absurd misplay. Because I should have had that 1 6-drop still in my hand. And so the gods were generous, and they're like, okay, you're tired, you can get another 6-drop.
Well,
Now, it's possible you would have found another way to make me get rid of it.
I drew my 7-drop that turn.
Aww. Oh, with the card exchange? That is that would have been a very different final turn there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would have won.
You would have won, or we would have gone the next turn. Because I with initiative, I can always stall with Spider-Man. But that might not have been to my advantage at that point. I did get some good combo-y stuff that time with the characters and getting I don't usually, like, Black Panther is weird because he's like putting equipment on him when you recruit him, but he's also concealed and has subpar stats, like he's concealed optional. So if I recruit him concealed, there's no equipment in the deck that goes on a concealed character, so I don't get to fire his cool power. But he's very useful for if I need to get the War Wagon in play. And if I can keep him around,
Sure.
the KO every turn is huge, especially with Hell's Kitchen. So that was a very, very strange game that I probably should have lost because of my dreadful misplay. And then I got a lucky top deck, which brought me back into it, and you didn't get your 7-drop.
Well, I shouldn't have confidently not played a resource. I thought I was going to be able to wrap it up because you were out of cards, and like whatever. I have a 5-drop. He's going to have nothing.
Sure.
So,
But
that
that
finishes off. But you top deck the 6th drop. I'm
did.
like,
That was-
never mind.
That was.
And then any other drop, but not 7 would have been fine.
Right. Yep. It was strange. It was a
And
strange
I
game.
missed a bunch in the beginning too.
Yep.
It was a bad.
It was strange.
The last one is an A, you say?
It is a
Double A, I mean?
Yeah, double A. That was a very weird game. That was a game that was very... lots of swinginess due to our weird draws. I can't believe that misplay, though. That was a dunderhead. I mean, maybe you had a way to give yourself flight. I think that deck's got that, but it was still a misplay to not save Blade as a reinforcer. That was absurd. In fact, maybe since you have initiative, the correct play is me putting both my characters in the support row, which guarantees you can't get either, even with flight. That would have even been a smarter play.
Probably.
There were a myriad of smarter things I could have done. And I didn't.
Still beat me.
Well, top decking a 6-drop helps. That was unlikely too, because you specifically made me discard 2 6-drops. The first one I did like, okay, I've got a backup 6-drop. I'm never going to discard this other one. And you did what the deck does, and you forced me through it. And yes, I misplayed, but you still forced me through it. But it's a reminder of how careful one must be against a discard deck, because even a slight slip-up is the difference between you lose that last card you desperately need and not.
I was hoping for the recovery play. Man, saved that one card, and it was
I
close.
did. That's funny. That's true. That mattered. That was weird. I almost feel like that was a game played by the card gods and not us.
All the games are played by the card gods and not us.
Well, I choose.
We are but pawns in their
we are but pawns in their
cosmic
master plan.
exchange.
Until we get rid of their cosmic counters. Oh, I get to roll this time.
You get to roll.
I'm going to choose inner. I lost. So you get your decision.
Gosh.
Which is great, because this is one of the items.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be looking before I choose. I believe these are an odds deck. Yeah. There's a rule for this deck
I'm going to keep.
that I'm contemplating violating.
Say it like that, it sounds kind of dirty. You rule violator, you.
I should, if I don't have in my opening hand, I should discard it.
Right.
Is that important?
But you have an otherwise good
It's
hand.
not a bad opening hand, but it doesn't have in it.
That's what you got for defying the card god.
So I must discard it.
I made a bold decision. I hope it gets better.
It was the wrong choice. But I'm still in a better position than I could have been. I will not be recruiting a 1-drop. Boy, that would have been a good bunch of cards.
I have Cheetah, whom I shall place in the front row. She has Vengeance. Whenever Cheetah becomes stunned, characters I control
Yeah, that's United.
get +1 attack this turn. Assuming you pass, I will attack you for 2.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I think.
You're doing weird things, and I don't approve. Boy, that opening hand would have been much better.
My initiative. I will recruit Count Vertigo, another 1-drop. He's fun. He says, return Count Vertigo to his owner's hand. Exhaust target character use only during your attack step.
I don't need characters to defeat
Whoa!
you. Take it for.
Yeah, I'm just going to take you for 4. No tricks. Get him, weenies.
What did you...
Well, Versus system is officially broken, Ian.
That's not a thing.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I'll be recruiting Batman. I have initiative, right? Yes,
That's
I do.
true.
I may activate and discard a Gotham Knights character card to negate target effect from a non-ongoing plot twist. I can only do that during the combat phase.
Negate target effect. Non-ongoing plot twist. And what was the payment again? Sorry.
Activate, discard a Gotham Knights character card.
Gotcha. I'm going to recruit Dr. Light. Dr. Light says, whenever he becomes stunned, I may put a Villains United character card with cost 2 or less from your hand into your front row, unless you don't control
Character with a name.
hand front row. If you don't control. The word unless made that whole thing not work.
Yes.
That's not a word that's on there.
Correct.
If I don't control them already.
Yep.
And I will form.
Joke's on you. You can't stun Dr. Light because I don't have any characters.
That's true. That's true. It is, however, your initiative.
What is Cheetah's Vengeance?
All my characters get +1 attack this turn. She's like Ratcatcher in this instance. Could always attack Dr. Light.
Is it better to pass? That's so stupid. I hate this draw. I will pass. No, because I get breakthrough. All right, I'll attack Cheetah. Whom you will reinforce. Yeah. Put that new light me for 4.
So I will take 1. And then I'll
He doesn't even have range. I'm all kinds of this draw is screwing with my head.
Yep.
4 +1 from her. Yeah,
Correct.
4 total. Okay. And then Bizarro, so I get to get a bunch of life. That'll be great.
That's what you wanted.
It is what I wanted.
Bunch of life. My initiative. My initiative. My initiative. My initiative. I'm going to recruit the Calculator.
3 drop on 4.
Yes.
You don't have Bizarro.
I do not. The Calculator says return a character you control to its owner's hand. Target Villains United character you control gets +2/+2 this turn. Use only once per turn.
Cosmic activate. Remove target Team Superman defender you control from this attack. Superman becomes the defender this attack.
It's legit. Pretty legit. I don't love that. Sort of awkward, actually. Awkward position I find myself in. I will team attack Superman. Do you have to activate him to do that?
Yes, I do. I do have to do
I'll team attack Freddy. I'll toss Batman too while I'm at it. I'll do that right now.
You just pop to exhaust.
Yeah. only do that during my attack step.
I accept. I will stun the calculator.
You want to convert it, come back out?
Nope.
I will take 3.
More.
Just those mouse.
What a silly draw.
I agree. You have initiative.
I'm going to reveal that I have Cadmus Labs. Activate. Character cards named Superman are not unique this turn, and I can replace it for 1/1 for a Superman. Recruit Superman. Superman has invulnerability during my first attack and defense each turn.
I must think for just a moment here.
Do it.
I'm going to recruit Bizarro
This is not going well for you.
and Count Vertigo. Bizarro, whenever he becomes stunned, a target opponent gains 4 endurance. You remember Count Vertigo. And I will form. Probably actually is the correct formation. It's interesting. Is that true? Maybe we'll form like that. I am formed, sir.
Pop Vertigo to exhaust.
Only during my attack step. Does not require activation. Do you have any questions about anything else that I have in play at the moment?
Play only if you've played no other plot twists this turn. Characters you control named Batman or Superman get +2/+2 this turn.
Yep.
Superman is going to attack Bizarro. I am a 9/9. I'm going to play 2 things. I'm going to play a solar powered.
Okay.
Target attacker named Superman you control gets +2 attack and +2 defenses attack. If that character has cosmic, put a cosmic counter on it.
I don't like that.
I'm also going to play Soaring to New Heights.
What the hell?
Target Team Superman attack you control gets +3 attack, and it also gets +3 defense if you control Superman. I'm a 14/14 attacking Bizarro.
The first one I followed, 2/2.
Mm-hmm.
Second one was another 2/2
And a counter.
and a counter for an attacker.
Right.
Right. And the last one
It's 3/3.
is 3/3.
For a total of...
What are the stipulations on the 3/3 one again? I'm sorry. It's plus.
I get +3 attack regardless on a Team Superman character. I get +3 defense also if I control Superman.
Even if it targets Superman? What are you doing? That's a good swing. Okay. Clever. 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 I will reinforce. I know you're shocked. I will take 4. You will gain 4. Right. I'll exhaust your 5-drop. Weird stuff. That's pretty weird. Sure wish I had that thing that I don't have. Because now would be the time for it. So Dr. Light is going to get pummeled by Big Damn Batman.
Probably.
That I don't like that.
Mm.
I don't like it.
You should pop him to boost somebody then.
Well, you're close. I'm going to attack 5-cost Superman.
Okay.
Oh, I'm stunned. Oh, Count Vertigo's in play. Oh, I exhaust Batman.
I see. Clever. Clever girl.
Then, I'm going to play Baddest of the Bad to pop Dr. Light to my hand and search for a character card. Which I will do. I will search for a character card. And I will keep on searching. Searchy search, 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 search. Searching for a character card. Checking my hand too. I'm searching for a character
I
card.
don't think you can search your hand for the character card.
Boopy doop doopy doo.
That's not a song.
It's a great song. Everything about that song is great. I'm going to search for Solomon. And then I will pass.
Professor Zoom.
He's the zoomiest. He's the zoomiest. I guess I do have that many cards. That's funny.
You have a lot of cards.
You
You have
do.
returned 2 characters to your
I
hand.
have. That's the reason. And I haven't done a research or anything yet, so we do that.
And you searched for a card. It's
I-
quite a lot going on over there.
So that's probably about right. Yeah, I'm recruiting Zoom. So Hunter Zolomon, aka Professor Zoom, has, whenever he becomes stunned, ready target character you control, that character cannot cause a breakthrough in this turn. And I'm going to form... What are you going to do? Form like that.
I'm going to play for the man who is everything.
Everything.
Search your deck for a Team Superman character card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If it doesn't share a name with the character you control, discard a card.
Interesting. Interessante.
I think it's going to be this Superman, but let me confirm.
You should confirm you.
I think the one that I keep thinking of is a 7 mostly. It is going to be this Superman. This is a neat combo. Pay 2 endurance to move Superman while Superman is protecting Defender. That Defender has reinforcement and invulnerability.
It's pretty legit. Pretty legit. Right on. Right on. I'm going to flip up Watch the Birdie. The controller of target character moves it to his visible area. The character gets -3 while defending this turn.
No, you're not.
Just have to activate and discard. Is that correct?
Yep.
What is the restriction on the discard? Just any card?
Gotham Knights character.
Are you teamed up yet?
Teamed up.
Excellent. Now, Bizarro is going to attack. Gotta think about this for a second. You can redirect, but if you redirect, it does. And you must activate your character, which is useful for me. But I mean, you're gonna get bigger dues, I suppose. Redirect requires activation. How do I get the most out of this? I'm just gonna attack 4-drop Superman with. But then you immediately get guaranteed reinforcement as well, which is really annoying. How many cards are you gonna need?
5, 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack 4-drop, and I'm gonna play Grand Gesture. There's an additional cost to play it. Return a villain's unit character controller to his hand. Target defender gets -3/-3 in this attack.
Let me see what you're up to.
Stupid cosmic counter. Putting it back on Superman. It's so critical right now.
I think I'm gonna have to just let it fly.
Yeah. Like so many Supermen.
Like so many Superman. Accept.
You do take 4.
Nope.
Is vulnerability 2?
Yep.
Oh, vulnerability and reinforcement. That's whatever that is from his cosmic power.
All of it.
Cool.
I can move him without the cosmic power.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I still stunned a Superman of yours. That'll learn you. He could theoretically pop himself.
I'm going to attack Bizarro with Superman. I'm going to play Soaring to New Heights.
That's a 2/2.
3/3. That's the 3.
That's the 3/3. Right. That means you are a 12/12.
Yep.
Sure is a big number. That's a big number.
I like it.
Take that. Beats. Take it. 6 breakthrough, 4 for the stun, and you gain 4 life. That's 10 damage that I take. 29. Well, right. I am going to attack 6 cost Superman. Going to play another Grand Gesture. Turn something to my hand to give you -3/-3 this attack.
Oh, exhaust Superman to play Home Sweet Home. To play, exhaust a Team Superman character control. Recover target stun character control at the start of the recovery phase this turn. I will power up once.
Before the character's done. I assume you target your stunned character. That would be as anticipated. Very good. I will accept. I'll take 6.
My defense was 9 to your 13 attack. I will take 10.
Just to you.
I pass.
I'm going to play Systematic Torture. As an additional cost to play, exhaust a Villains United character you control to KO target stunned character. Select your 6 drop.
That didn't go very well.
If you do, that character's controller loses 3 endurance. You did get the life advantage that turn.
The character advantage as well.
It's true. Mine's bigger character.
Sure, but my multitude of characters are much bigger than your single bigger.
Well, but I took out a cosmic counter or 2. What? Those were sounds. This card's really cool. I never play this card. I don't like that cackling.
It's not gonna matter.
It is my initiative, though. Is that true? That's true. It's my initiative. I'm going to bring out Alexander Luthor. 6 drop. I'm going to pay his 1 boost. When he comes into play, draw 2 cards. Boost 1. When Alexander Luthor comes into play, you may put up to 2 Villains United character cards of cost 3 or less from your hand into your front row. And I will select Dr. Light. And count where to go.
This is gonna be trouble.
Very nervous about this game.
Dr. Light gets someone back, so you could do multiple exhausts if you lead with him.
Potentially.
Which is probably what you ought to do.
Probably.
I'm going to recruit Superman.
I thought you might.
Whenever a front row defender an opponent controls becomes stunned, KO it.
Well, damn, son.
I don't think I'm going to get to do that this turn. but I might.
What was the card you played earlier that got you a cosmic counter back?
Solar powered.
How does that work?
Target attacker named Superman you control gets +2/+2 this attack. If that character is a cosmic, put a cosmic counter on it.
I see.
I forget what this was. Oh, yeah.
Jeez. I'm a Superman bee. So super.
It stands for hope.
And I get an exhaust. Decisions.
I was watching that. The very first College Humor video they did about... I'm sure you've seen some of the Superman videos they do. Very funny.
I probably have.
Team. Hope doesn't start with an S. Idiot.
Yeah, so the way we're going to do this is Luther is going to attack 5 cost Superman for life.
You didn't exhaust me. Alright, I'll take time.
Not yet. Exhausted. Wanted to wait and see the outcome of that attack before finalizing that decision.
Oh, I suppose I have initiative.
That's true.
Interesting.
Also true. You should attack Dr. Light.
I think I'm going to pass.
That's probably the right choice. Well,
I already played that this turn in my head without getting to
Yeah,
attack.
yeah,
so
that's
I wasn't ready to
that's
have an opportunity, but it is the correct decision. Oh, good night, Chris.
Good night, Chris.
A while ago. Oh, only 2 minutes ago. Maybe he still heard me.
Not too bad. So now, it's a very specific thing that I wish that I had that I don't.
Is it a chance? Hope?
Only I
start
had
with
hope.
S. Idiot.
I will team attack. You know, that might not be the right choice. Interesting. Could do that other thing. How many cards are in your hand?
5.
Why must it still be
it's
5?
not 5, it's 4.
That's slightly better. I still don't love it. Yeah, we're gonna team attack your big Superman. 4/16.
I will deal the damage to Dr. Light.
Now, I need to decide if I put somebody in play.
Please declare your next attack.
Well, indeed. If I put somebody in play, I could attack that somebody.
Good.
But I could also pop them through the calculator's power. It's not bad either.
Technically, you could just exhaust my Superman right now, or my Batman, right?
I could. Question is, do I? If I do that, Vertigo is in my hands somewhere. That could just be the right choice. I'm going to exhaust Batman.
Batman. Oh, he's a useful guy.
Then I'm going to attempt to KO your 7-drop.
Okay.
And ping you for 3 in the process.
Play only if you control Batman and Superman. Recover target stun character named Batman or Superman.
Oh, then you don't get pinged. I sure was hoping you wouldn't have 2 ways to foil that. Very good. I do pass.
Gonna stack up my soaring to new heights. This is
It's fair. I think I still keep Dr. Light around, which is interesting. That card would have been great last turn. That would have been a game-changing card last turn. It might not matter at all this turn. Sometimes that's how it goes. Whose initiative is it?
it is 8.
Probably means yours.
I think so because you attacked first last turn.
I accept. I don't
But
love
I
that.
thought I had odds, which is so that makes that weird.
Screw that up.
We may have
Or did I
somewhere,
have evens?
We may have somewhere along the way. Oh, you won the roll though, right?
No, you did win the roll. What would you have gone if you could have gone something?
Odds. So we
would
got
have
our
gone.
wires crossed somewhere. I led on
You
5.
should probably, yeah.
You led on 6. You also led on
But I
7,
also-
which was wrong.
Did I recruit first on 7? Or did you recruit first on 7? Either way, I will give you discretion about whether or not you take initiative this turn, since clearly we had a bungle last turn and I got an extra initiative.
No. I guess I better, right? I'm gonna make up for the momentum you had.
Yes.
I will only be recruiting another 5-drop Superman.
Indeed. I'm going to stack a little to get stuff on
Sure.
stream. I don't have any ongoing stuff there, so we're just going to stack that.
Be interested to review this video to see where we went wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like I acted first on 5 as well, so 5 was okay. I think we just went 6
Maybe.
and 7.
Yeah, could be. That's pretty swingy. I do have my.
Or maybe
drop.
I went 6 and shouldn't have.
Maybe. I honestly don't recall. What happened on 6? I recruited Zoom on 6. Did I lead with him? No, I led with
No,
Bizarro. We did 6 right.
yeah.
Because I led with Bizarro. So we screwed up on 7. Either I attacked first, or...
It's a huge swing because I had
Yeah.
my KO character out.
Yeah. No, I don't, that's terrible. This was a good game. I don't know what happened. Did you recruit, and then I recruit, and then I attacked? I feel like that must have been what happened.
It's possible.
We are sleepy.
Did I attack it? I'm not sure. I don't think I
You
attacked.
definitely didn't lead. I definitely did, but you formed defensively, or at least it felt like you did. Maybe you didn't.
I don't. I have flight range on all of my characters.
Right.
So there's not really a defensively. What does Black Adam do? He sounds like a jerk.
He's real bad. He says discard a Villains United character card. Characters you control get 1/1 this turn.
How many cards in my hand?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's a lot of cards.
That's a lot of cards.
Sure wish you had 2 less dudes, which is what it should have been. Cool.
2 less dudes. Oh, is it whenever any?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. I did not even realize that. God, that's terrifying. But I might have formed differently too.
Sure.
That's so weird. Like I said, I'm real tired. I've been screwed up some pretty key plays, so it's probably my fault. I always wonder how we screw up the attacking thing.
I think you said 6 cards in your hand?
I have 9 cards in my hand.
9 cards in your hand. Yes, I don't know.
Now that doesn't mean they're all characters. Some may not be characters.
Superman's going to attack Professor Zoom.
Okay.
I'm going to play nothing yet. I don't need to.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So I am going to. Guess I'm going to start discarding cards and we'll see what happens. I will discard a Count Vertigo. Count Vertigo.
Done.
Cheetah. And I'm going to go way over you. Maybe I just go for the counter stun. Probably not. I have to do this at some point during the turn. It's the whole point of the character.
+1/+1 for everyone.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He's like a Mon-El. He
good.
starts a little lower stat-wise, but he's a Mon-El. I believe I am ahead of you by 1 now. Does that seem correct?
You boosted your attack by 6, your defense by 6. Yes, that's
17.
correct. So I will play another Soaring to New Heights for 3/3 more.
I will play a Baddest of the Bad to return a character I control to my hand, and then discard it to power up to search for a character, which I will then discard to power up.
Hang on, I might cancel that.
Oh, you could. I still get to return the character to my hand because it is the payment.
So this costs, return advantage, search your deck for the affiliated character card, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck. Is this my fizzle?
Get 1. I do have 1 card remaining.
I think it should be. I will fizzle it.
It's not a bad choice. It'll work. I am 8/8 for the turn.
So 19, so my attack is 19, which means I got the stun. I do not yet avoid the counter stun.
I am going to do one more thing, which will probably not affect your action, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to play. No, I'll go with this one. Return Fire. As an additional cost to play it, exhaust a non-defending character you control or a Villains United defender you control. The controller of target attacker loses endurance equal to the attacker's cost.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's super pricey.
It's really pricey.
Okay. Stunned and KO'd, and you have a lot left. My defense is 17. I would need like 5 to get over your ridiculous attack.
That's fine. I think I'm in a good position, but it feels lame because we fucked it up. I feel very sad about
you
that.
cheated. It was terrible. This
So
is not
awful.
even a little bit valid.
That is
I'm
true.
going to replace Cadmus Slabs for +1/+1, just to get a little more breakthrough
Sure.
on an attack where I know I can get it.
I am up to 1 breakthrough. I will not be reinforcing with Black Adam.
You sure won't. What's that? I will take 7 more.
Indeed. And I will take 7 as well. Got up to 1. You did pump one more, correct? Because we were tied, and then you pumped 1. You do have invulnerability on
2 of my characters for this attack.
this attack.
So it's not
Probably means I go for the tinier character because I know I get stunned. I will go for the tinier character because I know I get stunned. Is that true? There's one other reason to not. It's gotta be the way I do it. That's the way to do it. So I am a 1923.
This time I'm fishing. I will exhaust Superman to play Home Sweet Home to recover 7 cost Superman.
Oh.
At the start of the recovery phase this turn, which I will not get to see.
No, indeed. Indeed.
Now I just have to get Black Adam with 5-drop Superman. Hang on. I don't have it.
Fair enough.
When do you lose? At the end of the recovery phase?
That's correct. Well, it is actually, I believe, at the middle. There's the start of the recovery phase, somebody loses, and then everything else happens.
Okay.
You're ready, Superman, assuming you do pass.
Oh, it's going to be a lot. What is it, 25?
25.
I will take 14, 19. I'm at negative 21.
And it's reasonable to just pass with the calculator. He on paper, he could get
Superman recovers.
Yeah.
I play Last Son of Krypton, because I've never been able to.
What?
Play Last Son of Krypton only during the recovery phase. Choose a character named Superman you control. I'll choose this guy.
Yeah.
Each other player chooses a character he controls.
Oh.
KO all other characters.
That's pretty cool. Huh.
You'll choose Black Adam, I presume.
Yeah, I do.
And then Black Adam and Team Superman have a showdown.
That's cool. Is that an 8-drop plot twist?
It's an 8-drop
spicy.
plot twist that can only be played during the recovery phase.
Whoa. That is nuts.
I don't think I've ever had it in my hand and gotten to the recovery phase on turn 8.
Jeez. I feel badly. I really like Villains United. They're actually...
Well, then maybe you shouldn't cheat when you play.
I know, right? Like, that's the thing. Is like, I was all happy because I had all my setup. I'm like, I'm going to get to do the thing. I'm going to Mon-El you. And then you're like, well, but it's... wait a minute. You don't get 2 initiatives in a row. That means you got 2 initiatives in a row. And it's, aw. I felt like I did the cool thing the deck does. And if you might recall... The last time I played these guys, they had so dismal a showing I didn't play them for forever. That's how bad the
I
showing
don't remember.
was.
I do like them.
It was agony, but they're a fun
They're
deck.
an interesting deck. Yeah.
And they're
I like them because their powers are ridiculous,
Yep.
but you can kind of play around them.
You can, and they're
Like,
all
there's-
high
there's
cost.
choices. Yeah.
Like, I can only pop so many characters to my hand, and then I can't do anything. And I got just the right combination of it. I felt like I played it well enough. It just turns out I played an extra turn in the middle. I don't know how it happened. Well, I'm actually going to be curious to watch the replay, because neither of us caught it until it was the next turn.
Felt
So
right.
everything seemed reasonable. I think that was a pretty good game, but the misplay would have made that final turn a more of a toss-up, because I don't think you would have
I would
killed
have
me.
certainly gotten one of your characters on the
You would have
previous turn.
absolutely killed one.
I would have had a
maybe
shot at 2.
2.
Probably, I probably wouldn't have gotten 2 because you
Right.
can turtle up.
Right.
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 But then I might have been able to hit you a little bit to punish that. Yeah.
Well, it's so weird because, I mean, maybe I recruited first. Yeah, it must have been I recruited first by mistake. Because I formed in a way that left me vulnerable to 7-drop. severely so,
Right.
which implies...
So you would have formed differently.
Right, which implies that what actually happened was I recruited first, and then we just kind of went with it. And I did waffle at the start of the game as to... No, I didn't waffle. I waffled the previous game about whether or not to go first. That time you decided.
Yeah.
But I was waffling intellectually.
And then I choose, I mean, this deck does have a very definitive turn order, which is I want to go odds, so I have initiative with 7-drop Superman and 9-drop Superman.
Well, because of course.
And I don't have initiative with 8-drop.
Who's a big wall.
Who can't be stunned on defense.
That's what I was afraid of, yeah. No, that's a very clear choice. And
then the ideal play that will never, ever, ever happen, and if it does on stream, I'd be really excited for it, is I play Last Son of Krypton on 8-drop Superman, and you pick your 8-drop, but who cares? Mine's not stunnable, and then I also recruit 9-drop
Right, so you've
Superman.
got 8 and 9 Superman, and I know, it's terrifying. I mean, that's a...
One who can't be stunned and one who can't be stunned on defense.
Right, no, and that's pretty clearly it. Yeah, I mean, if you had initiative, you would have absolutely gotten one of my 2. Probably Zoom, because
It would have
Luther
been
is
Zoom,
not
for sure.
useful after the initial play. Again, assuming I formed Dunderously, which I did do earlier tonight.
Well, Zoom doesn't have a range, so...
So I might have had to force your hand. And then
But you know... Yeah.
I think you probably would have only gotten one.
Yeah, I think
because
so.
I think I could
that's
have
true.
taken enough of your attack off the
definitely
board.
think that's true. And you could have put your weenies in the front, and then it didn't matter.
But I would have been down some more characters, and the last turn would have been a little different because of it.
Yeah.
I had a pretty significant swing on that final turn, but that swing would have been less significant, and I would have had fewer defenses on the subsequent turn. Though I would have had initiative. So I don't know. Either way, not quite valid conclusion.
The initiative with Black Adam means you play your hand early.
That's true.
I get to see what I'm up against.
You get to see what you're
Which
up
was
against.
solid. Like, I wasn't expecting 8. That was a lot.
Well, and you stopped 1.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be 9. It was actually supposed to be 9. Batman, I will say this. Batman's a big effing deal in this matchup.
Usually I don't get the cards to fuel him. The reason I was chuckling on turn 4 or whatever,
you kept getting Batman.
I had 3 of the 3-cost Batman and 1 of the 6-cost Batman.
So good. Like, my powers are pop things to my hand to do stuff.
Well, I can't stop that. I can only stop the plot twists.
Right, but my plot twists are that too. So I have the one that's like...
Oh, sure, yeah.
Well, so I actually was trying to get you to pop the Batman early that one turn because I then wanted to play 2 more plot twists. But it means that I have to throw away a useful card that's got to be useful enough that you want to cancel it.
Right. Well, mostly you just exhausted him, and then I can't do anything.
Right, but it also meant I couldn't exhaust all of your attack damage. I had to keep exhausting your Pee-wee over there because he prevents me from doing everything. And again, the fizzle against a deck where the payment still goes through, and that payment is a character I have spent resource points on, meant that he was absolutely terrifying. So that whole game was like, how do I stop Batman from foiling stuff? How do I bait him out? How do I exhaust him?
I would say, based on my deck composition,
strange.
I would say if I get 2 Gotham Knights characters in my hand, the game, that's a lot.
Yep. You have
in this game, I got
7 in the deck? 3
there
6-cost?
are 4 3-cost Batmans.
Yeah.
I only have 1 6-cost Batman because I just didn't get enough of that
Right, but
card.
you do have another Gotham Knights in there?
The other one is Maggie Sawyer, and there's 2 or 3 of her.
Okay.
I guess...
So
that's it.
Yeah, so you're probably going to get 2 a game, you were saying.
Yeah, is my...
Well, but I guess if the average is you get 2 to 3 total Gotham characters, 1 is the one you recruit.
Yep.
And so you get 1
No,
to
I mean
2.
2
right,
I would say for sure I can do it once.
Right, absolutely.
The second one is kind of a roll of the dice, and more than that is rare.
Yeah. Oh man, no. So it's so stressful. It was so stressful.
I thought I had you.
Yeah. And
I'm sorry,
Yep.
I missed 8, honestly.
Yeah.
If I had played 8 even with your initiative, I would have been in good shape.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe
And
so.
there's not only do I have, I only have 2 8-drop Supermans in there.
Yeah.
But I have, I think, 6 or 8 search cards.
Right. The hope that I have, I mean, it's interesting. The hope that I have to have is that I can keep enough of a threat with my 8-drop that you can't afford to tack with yours. You have to leave them as the barrier to damage.
Well, I have 2 8-drops. I have 2 different.
That's true. If you get the unstunnable one. I forget what the other one does.
I don't remember what the other one does either. I'm gonna look to see how it would have affected that scenario.
Right.
Because I'm curious.
I was afraid of the unstunnable one, but I felt like I had enough pumps I would have been able to get over them and either deal breakthrough if I had to, or just been a general threat, because I could punch through your others.
That's pretty useful.
Oh, that freaking 6-drop, and that counter you got back was way too useful. That was so annoying. You played 3 plot twists on that to give him the counter and keep him from getting counter stunned. Because he has to be the attacker to get the counter. That was the one where you jacked him up to like 14-14 against Bizarro. Which was a really good play because that counter hamstrung me for several turns after that. It's a little bit of a sour note that there was that. The initiative misplays are not common. I think we've done them a handful of times on the stream and noticed. But I'll bet we haven't done that more than 5 times since we've been streaming. But they kind of are a poopy feeling. But I think that was a decent game that had the potential to be a great game and can't ever be more than decent because the last.
It wasn't terrible. When you get to 8 and somebody blows up with their 8-drop and wins, that's not like a disappointment. I didn't feel like you had the game before that.
Sure, that's fair. And I will say, his pulling off his trick feels so satisfying because not only is it a big boost, and you know about the satisfaction of like, I have all my dudes, and now all my dudes are giant dudes. Like, it doesn't do it quite as well as I think the other one does, because the other one, only about half to 2/3 of it come from Monel, who's usually good for like 5 to 7 of it, but then you just have another 5 of it from your various cards on them, where you got certainly another 3/3. So it's not quite as potent, and his stats are lower, but the feeling of that boost is good, and he has the advantage that I get to throw down cards to do it. So I'm like, how big's it gonna be? And with Monel, as satisfying as it is, I'm glad that Black Adam is the one that I've got, because I love like building towards it the whole game. I'm like, my hand's getting bigger and bigger. I'm like, I hope I get him, and I got him on like I think I drew him on 6 or 7, and I had 1 search if I needed to, which of course I had to. I searched 1 turn, and I had to foil your Batman before I could freaking search, and that's really annoying. But it always feels good to pull that one off. So, okay, you're back in rotation, Villains United. They had a long hiatus. I was so mad after that one game.
Well, we ate up our time, so no more.
That's all right.
Again, reminders for Casey if he's here, or nobody more likely. Off next week. I'm out of the town. No more town for me.
No more town.
But in that time frame before we're back together the following week, I should be able to polish up this deck. I think that I will have the cards by then.
I like it.
And if all goes well, I might be able to put together one of the other 2 deck ideas.
That'd be great. I like your new deck. I am sorry that Shadowpact didn't have a good showing tonight. I think that was the weakest game of the night. It was again, any game you only recruit 3 or 4 characters.
Really bad. And with Shadowpact, that's because you're already uncommon. Gambling.
yeah, that's not what you need with Shadowpact. But the other 2 games is all right. It's all right cards.
I didn't have... The Superman was probably the best draw I had, and it still had some issues.
Yeah. It's a very scary deck, though.
It has some weird draws.
Very scary.
Well, it's the one... Like, that was... I'm kind of glad it was actually the next one in the bag sort.
Yeah.
The start of the next rotation.
Yeah.
But that now can be its last play in AA for a while. And
sure.
Bump it up to S and see how it does.
It's tough, and for the record, these guys I've always felt like they've kind of sat on the board.
Getting beaten by a AA isn't a good argument for it.
Yep.
Although, my opponent had to cheat for that.
Well, that's true. That's true. It's part of the secret to winning is cheating.
Yeah. I figure if anybody's going to cheat, it's going to be the Villains United.
That's against Superman, no less.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like we have played it out well this evening.
we're role playing our decks.
Yes. That's the next level of versus. Let's gonna start drawing extra cards next.
Yeah. I don't think we need to discuss anything.
No, I think
next
it's
week,
good.
back in 2.
Alrighty, well, for Casey might still be around. If he is, if you're around, Casey, thanks for sticking with us. If you're not around, thanks for watching as far as you did, whatever that may be.
And for the rest of you and those of you on YouTube, good night.
Have a pleasant weekend. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.